That is still a pretty sick intro.
It is a sick intro,
Definitely
and I'm
was,
happy we have it.
definitely was worth the price. So with that being said, welcome to Sports Check, everybody. My name is Brandon Gerard Natali, along with a good buddy of mine, Dennis Tui, aka D Train.
That's me.
That's right. So I know it's been a while since we've recorded. Life gets in the way, especially it's summer. We're up and at it, and, everyone's busy. I know I'm definitely busy. I know you are for sure. You gotta tell me about your cross country ventures.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, I went down south for last week. From Tuesday to Saturday, I was down south. I was down south in I guess the Mid-Atlantic region, Baltimore and Washington D.C. Saw 2 Orioles games, had a great time, and I got this little guy when I was at Nationals Park. Got the custom-made Kurt Suzuki jersey. I bought, like one of the blank jerseys they sell, and then
And
I
you
went to the little
customized,
custom.
and so you
And I
wanted to
got
get
our
Kurt
guy.
Suzuki.
Got Kurt Suzuki. Yep. Long time running joke between me and one of my friend groups. I was like, you know what? Perfect opportunity.
I knew you
Got to
loved
get it. Number 28. This was the number he had in 2019. He had that jersey number. The year they won the World Series. So I figured that's the one I'll get because that's where the kind of the man, the myth, the meme comes from. I told my friends, be careful. Kurt Suzuki's a dangerous hitter. It was bottom of the ninth against the Mets, I think around Memorial Day, and they got absolutely boat raced. They lost like 8-1 the Nationals. Later on that year, bottom of the ninth,
2019, down by
Kurt
7.
Kurt Suzuki goes off. Walk-off grand slam, wasn't it?
The Mets were up 11-4, and then somehow, some way, they found a way to blow it. And the guy
I think it was a walk-off grand slam.
The guy that hit the walk-off was Kurt Suzuki. I don't know if it was
and I texted my friends when he came up. I was like, you guys got to be getting nervous. Here comes my boy. They're like, do not even start with this garbage. I was like, there comes my boy. Here he is. And then he beat them. And then that ignited the Nationals onto their World Series victory. It seemed like after that point, that was their turning point. After that point, it seemed like they never lost.
No, after that, that they went on the roll. You know who was on that team? Juan Soto.
Juan Soto was. A lot of players are on that team, Brandon. But my guy.
But Kurt Suzuki, that's your guy.
My guy. Got the ring. They had Ryan Zimmerman jerseys in their team store, too. No other legacy players that I saw. Although I did see, walking around the stadium, I did see some Jason Worth T-shirts and jerseys that people were wearing. Didn't see anything else in their team store. And then before that, though, I went to the Orioles for 2 games. That was Tuesday and Wednesday. I went to Oriole Park at Camden Yards. And I have a lot to say because I was there for so long. First of all, they're the reason why I re-downloaded Pokemon Go because I went for their Pokemon Go day on Wednesday just by happenstance. And I was like, you know what? When in Rome, do what the Romans do. And I just remembered I left my little Orioles bird little plushie upstairs. They gave me a free one because I bought a jersey. It's like if you spent $75 or more, you got one of the free Oriole birds. And I was like, awesome. Yes. All the way yes. So I'm sure that will be making a lot of appearances on the show. I meant to do a whole little thing about how the Orioles have been struggling this season. And I was going to put my head down and hold up the bird like the bird was me and have the microphone underneath it and start it with the bird. But I forgot. And but it was nice. Food was okay at Orioles Park. I would say out of the professional stadiums I've been to, probably the worst.
Really?
Yeah, probably the worst. Granted, I only had popcorn at Nationals Park because I ate like a horse earlier that day at an English pub by we're by the Smithsonian, by the American History Smithsonian, and it was called Elephant and Crown. Really good, or Crown and Elephant. Very good. Anyway, back to Baltimore. Great time walking around the stadium. It's beautiful. It is a beautiful stadium. It was made, I forget what year it was. Oriole Park at Camden Yards was made, but it's supposed to be like a throwback to the Jewel Box stadiums, right? Of the late 1800s to early 1900s, the Wrigley Fields of the world. Even I wouldn't even consider Wrigley Field a Jewel Box, but those kind of weird. You see it on MLB The Show, the kind of rectangular stadiums, a lot of brickwork and stuff like that. It's supposed to be that kind of vibe, and they did very good with it. It's beautiful. I like that there's a lot you can do outside of the stadium. In terms, if you're a baseball fan, like there's the Babe Ruth Museum, which kind of also doubles as like a bit of like a Baltimore sports Hall of Fame, but mostly baseball. Baltimore Baseball Hall of Fame kind of thing. It's
Right.
interesting vibe. Anyway, so they have like Utah Street, which is spelled EUWTAH. I always thought it was just spelled Utah, like the state. Never put two and two together. Oh well. Really nice, good team store, very big, and there's a lot of food options. I guess I was hating a little bit. It's definitely not I wouldn't say it was the worst food necessarily, because the fries were actually pretty decent, and the chicken tenders were good too, but they just had better. And seating very tight. It's very similar to Barclays. So if you're a taller guy like me, I'm around 6'4", 6'5", in between those two, and hovering around like 230 usually for weight, like between 230 240 usually. So if you're a bigger guy like me, I'm going to be honest with you. It's tight. It's very tight. And that's one thing that stood out to me. We had great seats. Both games were practically behind home plate for one of them. We're behind the dugout, the third base dugout for another one. And great time. The tickets are very cheap. They're always cheap, apparently, according to our buddy Tony, who lives down there now and goes to games all the time. Concessions were very reasonably priced. I mean, the New York, when your mind is so used to New York prices, everywhere else is like free samples at Costco. So it's like totally cool, man. Like around the stadium, they didn't really have like a Hall of Fame like the Yankees have, the Monument Park. They didn't really have that. They had a lot of stuff just in the main mezzanines. You could just walk and just look at. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
And great views and everything like that. There's a part of the upper deck that if you walk around, you can actually see the Baltimore Ravens stadium right across from you. It's pretty cool.
M&T Bank Stadium, yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice, really pretty, and I will say the Orioles fans are the worst fans I've ever seen at any game, ever.
Really? What gave you that impression? That says a lot coming from you.
Not that they're rude or mean or anything like that, but they are lifeless. I could not emphasize that enough. Lifeless. Not a lot of cheering, not a lot of clapping. It is very run in the mill. It is a very dead crowd. It's one thing for it to be a one-game thing. The second game, it was also apparent. But the second game was a bit of a rain out. There was a big rain delay. There was torrential downpours earlier that day, and the next day was really bad with the rain. But yeah, so it was one of those like, all right, fine, I get it. The crowd's not going to be packed. I wasn't expecting it to be. A lot of Seattle Mariners fans there. I would say it's probably a 3-to-1 ratio. 3 Orioles fans per 1 Mariners fan. But I was also sitting the third baseline, so that's always you're always gonna see a lot of visiting fans regardless. So that could be biased. But just walking around town, I saw a lot of Mariners fans too. Like every team has their little song in the 7th inning stretch, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," and then they always play something else. Yankees is the YMCA. Mets is that Italian song. I'm Irish and Polish. I always forget whatever it's called, but I'll take your word for it.
Lazy Mary.
Thank you. And that's the one. And the Orioles, they played "Thank God I'm a Country Boy" by John Denver. I forget what the Nationals played. I forgot to write it down. But nobody was singing along. Nobody was clapping along. Nobody was dancing along. Not
That's
really.
the opposite. Whenever you go to like a game at City Field,
Yeah, it was. I mean, like
Dance to
I'm
Lisa Mary,
Brandon.
karaoke in the
It's
eighth
not
inning.
even.
Yeah.
It's not even close. This was the
Even
worst
Yankee
crowd I've ever
Stadium,
seen.
even the grounds crew is involved. They got the
Yeah,
YMCA. You know.
yeah. This is. I remember as a kid going to the New York Dragons, the Long Island Dragons Arena Football League. That crowd was more lively. Ducks fans are way more lively. I mean, it was, quite frankly, it was embarrassing from like a fan standpoint. It was pretty bad. And then I went to the Nationals. It was a totally different vibe. Everybody was having a really good time. The Nationals have outside of their park a free concert venue that you can go to. It's called the Bullpen. It's free admission. You walk right in. Obviously, you get ID'd at the door. You can bring kids in there too with you, as long as they're with like their parent. I saw some
Right.
kids walking around too, and they have like basic concessions. I don't know if there's any food, but there's a lot of drinks, alcohol and non-alcohol, like porta potties and whatnot. If you're just coming off the train and you just need somewhere to use the bathroom before the game starts, it's really cool. I really enjoyed it. They had live music, and I really liked that vibe. Right outside the stadium for the Nationals Park, they had a BetMGM little casino that you could go into. I didn't go into it. I think we're going to get into some of the baseball gambling stuff lately because it is heating up. And there's some interesting stuff I've been seeing circulating. And I had a really good time at Nationals Park. I will say, in the stadium, bathrooms seem pretty scarce for my liking. A lot of drinks, a lot of drink stands, a lot of drink vendors, drink stands, a real lot. And something I've never seen at any other game, at any other sporting event. They sold Brandon in a cup, in a to-go cup. I would say the size of like if you were to order not like a souvenir cup, but like the regular soda at a game.
Okay.
And they had one of those with lemonade, and it's like, all right, Dennis, there's lemonade, nothing crazy. But they were also selling shots of vodka with it. So if you're over the age of 21 and you want a vodka lemonade, I had a double shot of that. I think I got another lemonade. I drank quite a bit that night. But
Did you?
I did. And I got one of this big colada thing. They called it a... Oh, help me out. The name of the stand was called Electric Kool-Aid something or other, and I got the Koolada or something like that. I forget the name of it, but it looked like a baseball bat, and it was filled with the Koolada drink, and it was spiked, and it was very good. And I went through that like a hot knife through butter, and I was pretty. I've been drunker out in public, but I was pretty hammered. Nah, I shouldn't say that. I was friendly. And yeah. And I will say, like I said, that the Orioles had the worst fans. Nationals fans were very good, but it was a division rivalry. It was a Phillies Nationals game. So I can't judge the two of them the same. It's not fair. The actual people, the staff at Nationals Park, the most helpful I have ever had the pleasure of dealing with. Very helpful. In the team store. Very helpful walking around. Good very helpful with everything. Very courteous. And just made the game day experience, worthwhile. And I really enjoyed it. I had a really good time at Nationals Park. And I almost stayed a little bit later for the free Sam Hunt concert afterwards, but we had a train to catch, and I had to drive back to Long Island the next morning. So that's it. That was my adventures in baseball fandom. I did go to the Babe Ruth Museum, like I said. That was cool too. So baseball adjacent or like live sports adjacent. That was kind of cool. I think it was like a $15 admission. So if anybody's interested in that, it was pretty cool. And there's actually a real lot in there. You'd be surprised that if you're a baseball history fan, there is quite a bit there for you. A little outdated in some parts, but that's okay. Some of the videos they play are very outdated, very old. But like I said, it's fine.
Okay. Good
that was it. That was my adventure. So now one day I want to tier list the stadiums I've been to. And Orioles Park, visually, like I don't want to take away. Like visually, Orioles Park at Camden Yards is great. They had a picnic area you could sit down at. which is something that I haven't seen at Citi Field or Yankee Stadium. In the stadium, they have like a whole picnic section with umbrellas and stuff like that you could sit down and you can enjoy your concessions before you go into your seat. And I really like that. And the statues are in the stadium. There's a few outside, but there's a lot inside as well. They have a little garden of statues, which is really nice as well. And that's all in the shade. So you can get some cool pictures over there. And of course, Utah Street, you can get pictures. They have plaques where all the home run balls were hit onto the street. They have plaques there. So it's really cool, man. It's really cool. I recommend it.
Yes, no, it sounds pretty cool. I don't like how the Orioles Canyon Yard wasn't as energized as as you thought it would be. I remember going.
Yeah, the crowd was dead.
Yeah, I remember going when I was a junior in high school, and when I was a junior, I actually went on choir tour, and maybe I wasn't paying attention enough. It was definitely packed. It was against the Blue Jays.
Right, like.
But no, I didn't really pay attention to like the crowd and the like now in today's present day. Something's going on with my mic. All right. Anyways, I'm glad you had a good time. Somewhat decent time. Going to all these different ballparks.
Yeah, I had a great time.
I definitely need a vacation. That's for sure. I've been saying it for the longest time. I want to go to Aruba.
I would like to go to Aruba as well.
My vacation that I want to do next, and I've been telling people, is I want to go see UCF play UNC. I want to see Bill Belichick, play against UCF. Like, because obviously he coaches UNC, so I just feel like it'd be a good game to go to. And then we go see, me and my friends, like Chris, we go to. We go see Mickey Mouse. We go to Disney, Universal. Obviously, if you're interested in going down to Florida, but I got busy with school.
Can't.
Got you.
It's gonna be like this semester. Like I said, after the show, we're gonna have to go over schedule.
Just want to throw it out there. Yeah.
I appreciate the invite.
I'm gonna go get that. Yeah, Mets not coming back from this, in my opinion. That's another topic. But I know we didn't get to do the show a couple weeks ago. A couple weeks ago, I went to Jets training camp. I never really got to really tell you about it. Really, I guess.
No, you didn't, because the only time I saw you was when we went to Music on Main Street.
Yeah.
Or Live at 5. I don't know. I did the same thing.
That was a fun night,
two different parts of town. I had a lot of fun, but yeah, it was so hectic going back and forth and whatnot. We didn't really talk to it about it.
Like, I showed you a glimpse, but like I didn't really explain in detail how everything went down, how it was, my experience. Was that?
No, I don't even think you showed me too many pictures.
Let me find a way if I can. No, I'm not going to go out of my way, but no, I mean, I'll text them to you, but I don't have time to put them on screen. So what happened was, the Jet site I write for up here and there, jetnation.com?
Of course.
So I remember beginning of talking to them, and the great guy, if he does ever watch this, the founder of the site, his name is Phil Sullivan. Great guy. The site's been around for like 20 years. The site's been around for 20 years. That's a long time. And I guess over time they managed to find their way, and I don't want to say how, but to get us press passes to cover, the training camps for. So lo and behold, so I reached out to him and I said, and I said, can I write an article? And he's like, sure. But then he's like, do you live in Jersey? And I'm like, no, I like, I like visiting, I like visiting Jersey. And he said, you mentioned about the press passes and stuff, and you can go out and cover a training camp. So, we're talking throughout the week, and he finally gave me the list of days to go, and I chose August 7th. That was the best day to go. Just wasn't late in advance. So then I got the email confirmation from the Jets, and then I was able to go the next day. And so driving over there was decent. I got there a little bit too early. Now the press room opened at like 6:30. It opened at 6:30, but nobody really showed up till like 8. I know I'm getting tired. I know, I feel you. I'm tired.
No, it's not you. It's me.
Yeah, you good. But So no, I get there and there's a guy, there's Brandon London, who he did play for the Giants, but he actually does a color commentary for Stony Brook, which is good for me to know because I work in Stony Brook. Well, and then I saw Brian Costello, who writes for the New York Post. There was another guy, a bunch of other media people from like Athlon Sports, Newsday. There was even a guy from Newsday. I saw Eric Allen, who's worked for the Jets for like a long time, their media guy. So many people I met, and obviously I got to go on the field. So obviously I was observing the practice on the field. The players were right this close from me. And then so I was covering the practice from there. I saw what I see. Then I was able to watch the press conferences. Saw Aaron Glenn, Sauce Gardner, Jay Tafurley, Isaiah Davis from the Jets. And then after that, I went to the media room. And so I thought I was going to get lunch, but lunch was taking a while. So then I decided, hey, you know what? Let me write the article while I can. That's what I was doing. I was doing an article. I was doing a recap on the practice. So I wrote everything on my phone. Essentially, I basically wrote out the whole article. So when I came back home to Long Island, I didn't have to do much. I just had to do some little tweaks and all that and then submit it. Because then, let me tell you, Dennis, the traffic coming back home from Jersey, it's, I guess I got to keep it PG because who knows who's watching. It was a son of a gun, son of a biscuit.
Yeah, wow.
Coming back on the GW, oh my God. It was like maybe 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the afternoon. It was not fun. I was so confused. But no, it was great. It was definitely really cool. It was a fun experience. Definitely something I didn't think I'd ever do in my life, and hopefully I get to do more of it and expand on it. Of course. Especially after like you said, and when we've been promised. Actually, no, I don't want to say that, Joe.
Yeah.
No, but like, how
Press pass have been hard to come by for your boys over the years.
Like, we've been promised some things, and then they didn't come to fruition. This kind of made up for it in a way. Sort of. So I'm very happy for it. And it was a cool experience. And let me tell you, so just judging from the practice, now judging on the Jets, Justin Fields struggled in practice. He struggled in training camp. But I thought that was the best practice he had so far. In terms of the kicking competition, there's a guy named Harrison
Butker?
No, not Harrison Butker. It's the competition between Nick Folk and then a guy named Harrison. I forgot the name. That's his first name. And Harrison Mevis. That's his name. Harrison Mevis. He's like I don't know if he kicked in UFL. He kicked somewhere, but he looked good. I didn't like Nick Folk in the practice, but in the preseason, Nick Folk has actually looked like decent in the preseason games. Garrett Wilson's going to look great. And I know it's going to be interesting what they're going to do for the number 2 spot in wide receiver. Now, I know they just said they're going to explore the trade market, but who knows how it's going to be. This maybe I wouldn't mind if they got Juwan Jennings from the Niners. Great number 2 spot, except he's going to look to get paid. Depends if they're going to want to pay him right away. I would love Scary Terry, but he's going to be looking to get paid as well. And we just paid Garrett Wilson. I'm trying to think of what other wide receivers are out there right now. But it's kind of tough. But, I know the Jets made a couple trades at the defensive tackle spot. But, yeah, no. So, besides that, though, I thought it was a great experience covering Justin Fields. So, I have to say, he is pretty jacked. He's jacked.
Yeah.
Another player, so he definitely has the frame to play quarterback. Now, another player that is jacked is Braylon Allen. He's definitely someone that is he's definitely someone that's going to be looking to make some noise this season because it's definitely going to be a committee. Who knows if they try to bring over from what they had in Detroit over to New York. But that was my experience covering the Jets. Who would have thought I could say I would do that? And I got to write more for JetNation.com. I showed Craig Murphy.
Oh, that's cool.
He was happy to see it for a bit. It was cool to show him, I would have promoted more of my story, but I just, I thought I was going to get some stuff that I thought I was going to get. I know I talked about it before the show, so that's why I was trying to be low key. But next time I have that opportunity, no, it's going straight to my story. But anyways, that was my experience. So no, look at us.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I'm being kind of rude. I'm looking to see because you're talking about wide receivers. I was looking to see
No,
what
you're not
wide
really
receivers
doing.
are still available in free agency.
There's Amari Cooper.
Because there are some gems. Like I just saw Matthew Judon just got signed by the Dolphins. Like I was trying to see if there's a diamond in the rough for
Well,
a
he's going over
wide receiver
right.
for the Jets, and it doesn't really look like there are any.
Amari Cooper. I wouldn't
According
mind if
to
they got Amari
Spotrac,
Cooper. Amari Cooper that would be a good
is
pickup.
he still available?
Yeah, he's a free agent. He didn't get signed yet. Like if I'm the Jets, I'm calling Amari Cooper up right now.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not. They're showing me all people that have been signed already. I'm trying to see current free agents. Is it 2026? Is that what this means? Okay. No, this isn't. Okay, you guys are useless to me. Thanks for nothing. I appreciate it. Usually you're pretty reliable. You failed me today. Spotrac, you failed me.
Amari Cooper's definitely getting up there in age, but I mean,
It's a guy, you know?
In my opinion, he's not that old, and especially he's coming off a year in 2023, which is not that long ago, where he had almost 1,300 receiving yards. He was that close. That's when they had Joe Flacco at quarterback for the Browns. When they played, and he wasn't that bad. Last year was kind of a mixed season because they had Deshaun Watson playing. Deshaun Watson wasn't really picking up the speed. That was a failed experiment right away. If it's not a failed experiment already, I know you don't understand what I'm trying to say. And then they traded him to Buffalo. He did decent with Buffalo, but not enough. And I guess Buffalo didn't sign him back, and that's really that. Yeah. So I mean, he's going to be 31. So if I'm the Jets, I wouldn't mind. That's not bad of a signing. Pair him up with Garrett Wilson. Is he going to be in number one like he used to be? I'm not sure. I would doubt that. But you want to talk about getting one of the best receivers to play the game. I'm not saying it's Julio Jones, but Amari Cooper stands alone as one of the best receivers. To play in the National Football League. So to have that in the wide receiver room, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a more accurate list, right? That I found from sharpfootballanalysis.com. That there are some guys that are here that you guys could sign. All right, so Amari Cooper is available, like you had mentioned. Gabe Davis is available. Odell Beckham Jr., Nelson Aguilar, DJ Shark, Kadarius Toney, Justin Ross, Dwayne Eskridge, Deontay Hardy, Brandon Powell, Jamison Crowder, Allen Robinson, Anthony Schwartz, Devin Tompkins, Jalen Darden, Britton, Covey, DJ Turner, Kyle Phillips, Mike Strachan, and Equanimous St. Brown. And another name that I
no continue
and a few other names that I'm surprised haven't been signed yet. Jadeveon Clowney is still a free agent. That seems odd that nobody would take a risk, a flyer on him, and a few others that I was like, what? What did this guy have? What does this guy have to do to get a job here? And a big one was Rasul Douglas, Stephon Gilmore, Asante Samuel Jr., James Bradbury. All of them are current free agents. In fact, I think the Giants should sign Bradbury back, but that's, I guess, neither here nor there. I know Eli Apple. I know James Bradbury's not as fast as he used to be, but he could play safety for you, surely, at this stage in his career. But yeah, it's kind of odd. I don't know what's going on here. I wonder if teams were waiting. A lot of these are veteran guys waiting to see if there's going to be injuries or whatnot preseason or at the start of the season. CJ Uzoma is a free agent too. That's Hayden Hurst is a free agent.
A lot of maybe just teams aren't showing interest in the players. I think a lot of players most of the time waiting for the right fit. You look at Keenan Allen, Mike Williams went down, and the next thing you know, Mike Williams retired from the Chargers, and then Keenan Allen's still out there, so that kind of made it easy for the reunion. I think that's a great signing. I think Keenan Allen was a great pickup by them. He's essentially the number one wide receiver again.
Yeah.
And I don't. It took a while for him to kind of get going in Chicago, but after a while, he was picking up steam, in my opinion. So I still think Keenan Allen has stuff left in the tank. And but in terms of the other receivers, I love Odell. You know, I met Odell recently, but I don't think, I don't think it'd be a good move. I mean, unless he's fine with being the number 2 and he still wants to play, then sure. But I don't know if Odell is the same wide receiver that he used to be. Maybe he is. I just got to see. Definitely not Kadarius Toney. That's another. I just say you just listen to the names, so I get that.
I was just going in order of the names.
Right, just
that
going
they
to orders.
appeared.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously him. I
so-
think he officially retired. I remember hearing about that to pursue a rap career, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Is that him or is that somebody else I'm thinking of? No, who is the one that the other guy the Giants gave up on?
Darren Waller.
No. It was somebody else.
No, Darren Waller released. Darren Waller tried to be a rapper.
I remember Darren Waller, who's one of my favorite players.
Great player. No, I guess it was just Kadarius Toney.
Time player to pursue rap career. Oh boy, there's so many spelling errors here. Oh, it was Kadarius Toney, so I'm thinking to pursue a rap career. Yeah. But yeah, I think he also had off the field trouble, didn't he?
But either way, just besides with the Jets, I know we saw them in the preseason game against the Giants. I'm sorry that I have to apologize in advance. That no, go. Good. Sorry, Cedric Mullins just got on base. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I'm a little behind you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had a feeling you were. Now, I know you can do back and forth. You can watch the game, and you could also listen to me. I know you can do both. I know we can multitask, and that's okay. That's the beauty of how we run the show. Now, I want to apologize for the fantasy chat being 419 messages. That was all Muse.
Yeah.
You can yell at him. He was going off in the chat. He was being annoying.
Come on,
you
guys.
wouldn't shut the heck up.
I'm trying to watch 20-year-old seasons of Survivor. What are we doing here, boys?
You saw him. He was going nonstop. It's not me. He starts
The only reason why I get annoyed about that is because it happens around the time I'm asking something that's actually relevant, which was when's the draft day. Everybody's talking in the chat. The second I was asking about the draft night,
because I'm glad we got.
Like I said, my schedule is like psychotic coming up.
I'm glad we got that situated, and we will get to that.
But and now was it? Is it September 2nd?
No, it's August 26th, 9 p.m.
You fucking people! I mean, Mike can't do that.
No, he can't do the 25th.
Somebody said they couldn't do the 26th.
Probably Sean, but Sean said he's gonna take off work a little bit. I can't do the first. No, the 31st.
Right, the second. The second. Everybody could do the second. Everybody could do the second.
I said the second. I said the second.
I said the second, and then I was eating dinner, and then they were like, "Oh, we're not counting it anymore." It's like, all right, great. So when I was the only person talking about it Monday night with our other friend, whatever, off the show. So sports. Those were our adventures. All right. So I didn't watch the Jets Giants preseason game. I looked at the scoreboard. I looked at the box score, and I got to be honest. You guys can't be thinking of winning the division, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, your offense looks horrible.
Yeah, you know what? Looking back on that,
I'm not trying to be that guy, but Jackson Dart looked like prime Peyton Manning compared to whatever Scrub-a-Dub-Dub's game over in the tub you guys had going for you. And
yeah, you know what?
Just that, the Mets have lost to the Nationals.
I'm not looking. Yeah, to Kurt Suzuki's Nationals. Announcer might have came off the bed. I just want to let you know. I have to go and do an errand at 9:35. So I just want to let you know I will have to get off at a certain time.
That's fine. I feel bad that we spent so much time talking about random stuff.
I love it. But anyways, I'm not too concerned with the preseason. Justin Fields, the offense, they did not look good. The running game looked decent. I think they're trying to. It's good, but the passing game definitely needs some work. Like I said, I think Giants fans, I think we're going a little bit too crazy, a little bit overreacting over the preseason. Like I said, Chris, like I said, hold on one second. Okay. I thought Giants fans were definitely overreacting a little bit. It's preseason. You got to bring that to the end. To the got to bring that to the regular season. But Russell Wilson, though, I thought he looked good. And I've said to the Giants fans, I said to everybody, Russell Wilson is what the Giants need. He's gonna help you win. He's gonna help you win games. That's what the Giants need. They need someone to help win games. Just good quarterback play after watching Daniel Jones all those years. And Daniel Jones, that's another interesting topic. Like, what's the fault at it? Was it just Daniel Jones not living up to just first round pedigree?
What do you mean?
Was the coaching? I want to know, and I don't want to drift off into it. I'm just saying, in terms
All
of
right.
Daniel Jones, like, what was it? Was it him or was it the coaching or like?
I maintain that the Giants failed Daniel Jones astronomically more than he failed them. And I think anybody who doesn't see it that way, I write off as being a fool. And
No,
normally, you know me, I'm a very rational, level-headed fan.
you are pretty rational. No, you know what? I could agree to that because
And,
Brian Daboll, he did a good job in the first year as head coach of the Giants. He
right.
got them to the playoffs with Daniel Jones, and
what
Saquon Barkley had a rejuvenated year. So
And people forget the thing I always point to, and a guy that you want to talk about, someone who should be getting a job. Richie James was the Giants' best wide receiver in a playoff game that they won.
and Isaiah Hodgins too.
Really think about that for a second. Really. Patrick Mahomes, when he had Richie James couldn't even stay on the field, and they're talking about how bad the Chiefs wide receivers were. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is as good as Patrick Mahomes. What I am saying is, if you're going to talk about Daniel Jones' career on the Giants and not bring up the fact that the guys that were playing wide receiver for him were pushing shopping carts at the Target I work at, then I'm not going to talk to you.
Right, but anyway,
that's a huge part of it. The offensive line had a lot of problems. The wide receiver room was non-existent, and with Saquon Barkley's health being
up in the air,
limbo, it was tough. Now he's getting this opportunity with the Colts. We'll see what happens. People are like, I can't believe they're not starting Anthony Richardson. As bad as Daniel Jones was for the Giants, he still has a 15% higher completion percentage.
Right. With
for
Daniel
his career.
Jones,
I don't see the Anthony Richardson hype. And that's when Anthony Richardson can play 3 snaps in a row without shattering.
With Daniel Jones, it seems like it definitely colossal of both. It was definitely a mix of Daniel Jones and, like you said, the offensive line. They didn't really put a lot of good pieces around him. They didn't have Malik Neighbors before that. Saquon Barkley was there, but he was dealing with a lot of injuries. I feel like he was definitely kind of rushed on in the field than he should have been. That's a whole nother conversation. So, but with Daniel Jones, he got the contract and it just wasn't the same. But like I said, it was just a combination of just a lot of factors, and it just wasn't. It was a failure from the start. He got drafted under the Jason Garrett offense with Pat Schumer, and then he played under the Judge, and it just
stability.
It just he had no stability. So he's not at all to blame, but he didn't do anything to make it better. Like I said, Brian Daboll should get a lot of credit for obviously year one. Now, in terms of Anthony Richardson, and I forgot what I was talking about before Daniel Jones, because I said I didn't want to get into that, but
I'm sorry.
I thought
you said you didn't want to get into it. That's why I got so revved up.
No, you're fine. What did we talk about before Daniel Jones?
You were talking about Justin Fields. You're talking about Justin Fields and the Jets.
Oh, okay. Now I know what I'm getting at. No, okay. So the point is, I'm getting at Russell Wilson. The Giants have had shit quarterback play for the past 6 years after Eli Manning retired. Same thing like the Jets. Both had shit quarterback play. So Russell Wilson, he's going to give you great quarterback play and he's going to help you win games.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the idea.
Yeah, and so I thought he looked great. And then Jackson Dart looked good too, but let's pump the brakes. He definitely,
Yeah,
he,
it's
you know,
early.
because again, he's played against second string, third string guys. It's annoying that Chris and friends I know trying to say that he's ready to start right now, but it's like, relax, pump the brakes. You just signed Russell Wilson. Like Giants fans, if you want to be smart, you sit him as long as you can. Daniel Jones, he got thrown into the fire. Not everybody could be a Jaden Daniels or Russell
CJ
Wilson
Stroud.
or CJ Stroud. Not everybody can start right away out of the get go. It's some quarterbacks need to sit, and just that's how it should be. But the Giants, they look decent. They look good. Jets definitely need some work on offense, but yeah, that's I'm not too concerned. Point I'm trying to get at it's preseason. It's I'm not trying to freak out. I'm not trying to over exaggerate. Hopefully, before week one, the Jets could put some good tape on, and we'll see. But yeah, um, and that's that. Anything else you want to wrap up before we? But actually, you know what? Speaking of Daniel Jones, what was I going to say? So he won a starting job now for the Colts,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people are shaming on Anthony Richardson because he just lost. He was went from being a first round pick to now losing your starting job to Daniel Jones. I think the offensive coordinator kind of came out. I forgot how he said it in quote. He basically said like we did all we. He basically said we did all we could. It just didn't work. It just he said something like the consistency is not there. I don't know what Anthony Richardson. I don't know what's going on with him too, but I think it's another guy that got rushed. I mean, he didn't have enough starts in college. He only had like 10 or 12 starts. He didn't really play a lot. So I wonder whose dumb idea was to kind of just throw him into the fire like that right away.
He shouldn't have been drafted.
These teams never learn, Dennis. They never learn. They always put these players out there when they need to learn, and they never let them develop right. They don't. These teams never freaking learn.
There is. Oh, continue. I'm sorry.
But who knows? I mean, now people are talking about that he could get traded. So maybe he goes to Pittsburgh, where he sits and learns under a great offense. Maybe he goes to Philadelphia. Maybe he goes to Baltimore and learn under Lamar Jackson. But so that's What do you got to say?
First of all, are they going to learn? Is he going to learn how to stay healthy?
You guys had health concerns, yeah.
Second of all, I think him getting drafted and definitely the Trey Lance stuff are peak general managing and coaching for the Disney movie. Trying to outthink yourself, trying to do something, outside of the box. Everybody said that he was going to be wrong, and look at him. He proved them wrong. Come on. I think fans often forget because we think that, like, I'm not saying I can run the Giants better than the Giants. I don't think you would say you could run the Jets better than the Jets. But I think people don't really take into consideration that there are people that work for teams that make incompetent decisions. When Anthony Richardson was talked about going into the draft, he wowed everybody at the combine. And before that, I mean, maybe I missed it, but nobody really talked or cared about him. Am I wrong? I could be wrong because you know me. I'm more of a basketball guy.
No, he was a highly regarded player, but I don't.
It was a lot of it was like he was a project player with a really high ceiling, and the floor was question marks. Was the vibe I kind of got.
He was,
and those kinds of guys. I'd rather take someone like Mac Jones. I would rather take someone who I feel like, or sign someone like Jameis Winston, a free agent. Or, I'd rather take someone where it's like, I know you can't be the worst. Mac Jones never developed anything. But when people forget his first year, he was really good. That, I'd rather take people that have maybe a lower floor and a lower or higher floor and a lower ceiling than take a project player that played like 15 games. I know it sucks. Anthony Richardson, I'm sure, is a great guy, but it is one of those things that a lot of people are talking about it. Like, some people are like, this is stupid. the Colts lost the locker room. This is dumb. And I'm seeing that all over the place. I'm seeing, like you said, that like people are like kind of ragging on him. Like, how do you lose your spot to Daniel Jones? I'm seeing all of it. And I really think the truth is kind of somewhere in the middle, which is like, I think Daniel Jones was way better than he was given credit for on the Giants, in my opinion. I don't think that makes him an all-pro candidate or something like that, or a Drew Brees 2.0, a bargain bin guy that just turns it around. I don't think it's anything that drastic, but I think it's one of those like, yeah, see what you have in him to start the season. And if he gets benched, he's shown throughout his career that he can handle that with grace. I don't know if the inverse is true about Anthony Richardson. I think now you have a little more time for the rest of the team to catch up to speed and be like, all right, this is our guy now. And if it doesn't work out, then you could go back to Anthony Richardson and things would be a little more fine. I think sometimes doing that the opposite mid-season can be difficult.
Right. But hey,
you got to go.
I guess no. Before I do go, I want to hear your thoughts on. So now we're going to shift the basketball real quick. John Wall officially has retired from the league. I feel like, what are your thoughts on John Wall? Heck, he's having.
Listen, I don't mean to I don't mean to hate on his career. He's a very good player. He's not going to get into the Hall of Fame or anything like that, but he's a good player. He had a decent, a very good career. 5-time All-Star, 1-time All-Defensive Player, All-NBA player 1 year, All-Rookie 1 year. The guy's had success, and I don't know where this advertisement is playing from, but it's driving me nuts on this website. But from 2018 to 2019, that season, he played 32 games. He got hurt. From 18 to 19, from the 19 season to 20, that year, 19 to 20, he played 74 games in the NBA. I viewed him as being retired for a long time. Happy trails, dude. Have fun. One of those guys, what if he never got hurt? But not a Hall of Fame or anything like that. I'm not trying to hate on him, but that's like the grander basketball talk. As far as was he exciting and have great highlights, and he was one of the fastest players in the league when he played, excellent college player and all those stuff. Yeah, dude, he was sick. The John Wall highlight reel is awesome. Go watch it. But like I said, in the grander sense of like, what does this mean for teams? What does this mean for hey, man, he had a good run.
All right. All right. I guess that wraps it up.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you to everybody listening to Sports Shack. I know the Mets just lost, so hopefully they can pick it back up. They have not been good.
Much better for my Yankees.
After these past 2 weeks, actually, the Mets have had a really bad skid. I know the Yankees. I feel like the Yankees are picking it back up. But how are they looking tonight?
Bottom of the 7th, 2 outs. They're at Tampa. Bases are loaded. Luke Weaver just blew a 95-mile-an-hour fastball right past Hunter Fiducia. I don't know. Not familiar with his game. The Rays traded away so many of their players that they have a couple of guys today. Like, what's the name of that guy? Tristan something or other. That I was like, who is this guy? So, was it Tristan Walker? Was his name? I don't know. Tristan White, maybe. Tristan Gray, I think it was. And I'm like, I don't, not familiar with half this team. So, we'll see. Hopefully we can get through it because the Yankees are in a tight race. I'm sure this time of year we would have loved to do a lot more baseball, but we'll save that for another day.
We'll save that for next week. We'll save it for another day. And yeah, I'm very happy to get back on. And yeah, I know obviously we were going to get back on. It's not like we weren't. It's just like I said, life gets busy, and but luckily we find a way.
Yeah.
So I guess I will see you next week, and we'll talk throughout the week. Love to see you soon. Yeah. Maybe we'll get a Met game next week. Would you want to go?
Met game? Dude, my schedule is nuts. I can't. I have school every day. I can do Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Okay.
But Sunday only under certain parameters. Like only Sunday night baseball. only Friday night. Like it's that time of year, man. Sorry.
No, yeah, you're fine, bro. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you good, bro.
Did we go to a Mets game this year? I don't think
We
we
did.
did.
Against the Cardinals. We saw Griffin
That's
Canning.
right. That's right. I totally forgot about that.
But all right. Thank you, everybody,
Yeah.
for tuning in to Sports Shack. My name is Brandon Natali, along with Dennis Tui. Thank you guys, and have a great night.